Hey all you lovers out there. It's your friendly grippeteer. Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm back again with another Steven Universe vlog. Today's episode is Horror Club. And in this episode, Ronaldo invites Sadie and Steven, and, well, he doesn't invite Lars, but Lars comes anyway, to a special screening of some horror movies in his lighthouse on top of the Gems hideout, which I don't get. Is that the Gems property that Ronaldo just kind of owns and they don't mind? Because Steven doesn't seem to question it. I don't know, whatever. And so they go there, and Ronaldo is surprised to see Lars there. It seems like they have a little bit of friction between them. So they go in and they're watching this movie. And then the power goes out, so they go to investigate what happened, and all kinds of spooky paranormal stuff starts happening. File cabinets start going out of their drawers. Mysterious orbs start floating in Weird Al's hands. You know, coffee cups that actually didn't have coffee in them 5 seconds before it hits the wall and explodes with coffee. Fly at people and explode with coffee. There's a scene, they have a scene where like this coffee mug comes up and you can clearly see there's nothing inside it, but when it smashes against the wall, coffee comes out of it. I don't know, I don't question it. It's a cartoon. And so they try to go outside, but they can't because the scarecrows are blocking their way, so they try to go downstairs. Well, no, the scarecrows are blocking their way, and so to try to save Sadie, Lars says, let's just ditch Ronaldo and Steven and run, which, you know, Sadie refuses and then is eaten by the monster house. And, no, I didn't think of that comparison until I just said it, and it has some tying points with this episode. I feel so smart. Anyway, and so Sadie gets eaten by the house, so they go downstairs to the basement to see where she went, and there's this giant beating heart, I think, beating piece of body, some organ, with Lars's name scratched into it, and the scratched name turns into a giant mouth, and it says Lars, so Ronaldo says he must sacrifice Lars, but Steven goes in, saves Lars, uses his crystal gem powers, and it turns out that when he destroys the monster that was trying to eat Lars, Sadie is free, and the entire lighthouse was just being possessed by a lost gem. Not a crystal gem, like an actual gem. You saw it, you know. The gem produces a hologram that reveals that the lighthouse was originally Ronaldo and Lars' club when they were little kids, but when something paranormal happened and Ronaldo took a picture of it that showed Lars in a negative light, he freaked out at that and he ripped the picture up, which probably caused them to end their friendship. And then that's kind of the end of the episode. Woo! Oh, I liked this one a lot. I've never felt more mixed on an episode than I do this one, because it's a great episode, but the story's pretty bad. It's not. The first thing I want to point out that anybody can see about this episode, I don't know if it was done by like a different director or something, or if it was meant to have this purpose, but it has some of the best lighting that I've seen in a 2D animated, you know, TV show. I wouldn't go as far as movie. You know, there's some big ones, but in a TV show, like, they use all kinds of light projected from just glowing monsters, from flashlights being thrown back and forth, and it's not like everything on them is illuminated. It's illuminated like you hold a flashlight up to your face and everything goes all scary, and they use that, but they don't just use it to, you know, shine it on someone. They use it to, like, show the characters' emotions, or, like, show their facial expressions in a more detailed way. Like, they'll use... There's a scene where there's a red light illuminating everybody, and I think Ronaldo turns around and he's super mad, and they use the red. Obviously, red is kind of the angry color. They use red to illuminate his face, but like the shadows on him are all black, like so they stand out against the red, and they're grumpy eyes. That's what eyebrows look like. This is what eyebrows look like. I don't know what you guys do with your eyebrows. That's how I don't even have any eyebrows. That's just how I keep them going. Unibrow. Fun fact: the Gruppeteer has a unibrow in real life. That is an actual fact. It's horrible. I'm like in 8th grade, so people just walk by like, Bert! I'm like, you're the worst. Episode. So the lighting really impressed me on this one. I'm guessing it was done by a different director. No offense to the normal directors of the show, it seemed a little different. Or maybe they were just going for that effect because it was like a horror movie kind of thing. And the relationship that we see between Lars and Sadie, either friendship or romantic, no matter which way you want to go with that. And the friendship you see between Lars and Ronaldo are also very exercised in this episode too. It's very interesting, especially since Ronaldo and Lars haven't interacted in an episode prior to this one. It's good to know that they did have a history and that stuff did happen. However, the story's poopy. The story's pretty bad. Like you can... Like, in the Book of Life, you know that movie, The Book of Life? The story in The Book of Life is pretty bad, but it's covered up by the amazing visuals. I'm sorry, I do not hate Asian people. Like, the story in The Book of Life is pretty mediocre at best, but the visuals just make up for it and make it an awesome-looking movie. That's the way this episode is. If you take off the really nice visuals, there's not much, really. I mean, it's not really explained why the gem possessed the house. I mean, it's dabbled on. It's like, oh, you were just lonely, or you were mad they were carving your name into you. But that doesn't make any sense because it was the gem making the house do stuff. It's not like if my glasses case is possessed by, I don't know, Kirby, and I hit the glasses case, it's not going to hurt Kirby. It's going to just make dent the glasses case or something. So that doesn't really add up. I mean, you're going to say in the comments that there was something I missed, and there probably was, but was there really? It doesn't really add up. Also, the end is rushed. Everything in this episode is really rushed. From the change in Lars's mind, literally like a minute into the episode, from the last line in the episode. I mean, they show the backstory and everything, and Sadie and Lars, not Sadie and Lars, Steven and Sadie leave to leave Ronaldo and Lars to talk to each other. And they, like, Ronaldo starts off like he's going to have a heartfelt conversation. Lars like, bye. And it doesn't even make sense what he says. It's like, tone it down a bit. And he just blushes. End of the episode. It's like, tone it down? What does that... What? I mean, like, tone down, like, the attitude? Or tone down trying to make other people think you're really cool or something? It doesn't... It probably means something. I don't mean something. I don't... Tell me in the comments. You will anyway. I really like the teddy bear thing, the teddy bear movie that they were talking about. It reminded me of, well, just a CGI teddy bear in a CGI teddy bear in an unneeded sequel. I didn't know Ted 2 was leaked already. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. I like this episode. It was a joke.